The Zalthar hunting cruiser hung in the void like a serrated blade, its bioluminescent hull pulsing with anticipation. Inside its trophy chamber, Bella stood perfectly still, her heart rate controlled at exactly 60 beats per minute, a trick every human learned in their first month off Earth. The creature circling her stood nearly 3 meters tall, its chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the chamber's harsh lights. 4 eyes tracked her movements while its mandibles clicked in what the translator rendered as amusement. This was Warlord Kreshnok, apex predator of the Zalthar Dominion, undefeated in 243 death matches. Bella was his 244th opponent. "A death," the predator began, its voice a grinding rasp. It never finished the word, "Worlder." Bella's body moved with the coiled precision of Earth's 1.2 gravity training. While the Zalthar had evolved on a planet with 0.6 standard gravity, Bella had spent her first 18 years pushing against twice the force that now seemed almost negligible aboard the ship. Her muscles, dense as compressed steel, exploded into motion. She crossed the 3 meters between them in 0.4 seconds, faster than the Zalthar's neural pathways could process. Its 4 eyes widened, pupils contracting in the first microsecond of fear it had experienced in decades. Bella's hand, reinforced with the subdermal carbon fiber mesh that all Deathworlders received before space travel, clamped onto the soft tissue at the base of its throat. The Zalthar's exoskeleton was impenetrable to most species, but humans had learned, through centuries of butchering Earth's most dangerous fauna, exactly where armor failed. Bella's fingers found the gap between thorax and head with surgical precision. And then she pulled. The sound was organic and terrible, cartilage separating, biosynthetic fluid spraying in a pressurized arc. The warlord's mandibles seized mid-click. Its translator fell silent. Bella held the torn section of its throat in her hand, purple ichor dripping between her fingers. The great predator collapsed, its legs buckling as its secondary heart tried desperately to compensate for the catastrophic pressure loss. Around the chamber, the viewing ports erupted with movement. Dozens of Zalthar observers recoiled from the transparasteel, their antenna-like sensory organs rigid with shock. In their entire recorded history, no prey species had ever moved like this. No victim had ever struck first. But then, they had never hunted a human before. Leo's voice crackled through Bella's subdermal communicator. "Bella, I've got the nav system. 40 seconds to get to the docking port." "Copy," she replied, stepping over the dying warlord. Her boots squelched in the spreading pool of alien blood. The door to the trophy chamber was biometrically locked to Zalthar DNA. Bella solved this problem by pressing the warlord's severed throat section against the scanner. The door hissed open. She ran. The corridor beyond was designed for creatures of low-gravity evolution, wide and high, with handholds along the walls for zero-G maneuvering. Bella used the floor, her legs pumping with the relentless efficiency of a persistence predator. On Earth, her ancestors had chased prey across continents, running animals to death through sheer endurance. These corridors were nothing. 3 Zalthar guards rounded the corner ahead, plasma rifles rising. Bella didn't slow. She analyzed their stance, their weapon positioning, their reaction time, all in the quarter-second it took to close half the distance. They fired, she wasn't there. Bella dropped into a slide, her body passing beneath the plasma bolts with centimeters to spare. The superheated air singed her hair. She came up inside their formation, too close for their rifles to track. Her elbow found the first guard's sensory organ cluster. Her heel shattered the second's knee joint, another weak point in their otherwise formidable armor. The third guard was faster, trained better. It dropped its rifle and lunged with claws extended. Bella caught its wrist, used its momentum, and introduced it to the corridor wall at considerable velocity. The impact left a crater in the biocomposite material. 20 seconds, Leo's voice reminded her. She could see the docking port now, its round hatch standing open like a promise. Through it, she glimpsed their ship, the Persistence, a human-built vessel that looked like a flying brick compared to the elegant Zalthar cruiser, but could pull accelerations that would turn its current hosts into paste. Leo stood in the airlock, one hand on the emergency seal control. He was tall even for a human, his frame heavy with the muscle mass their homeworld demanded. When he saw her, bloodied and running, he grinned. "Told you we'd get the data chip," he said. "Told you I'd kill their champion," she replied, vaulting through the airlock. The hatch sealed behind her with a pressurized thunk. Through the port window, she could see Zalthar warriors flooding the corridor, their weapons raised, their mandibles clicking in fury. Leo was already at the pilot's station. "Might want to strap in. They're going to be upset about this." The Persistence detached from the Zalthar cruiser with all the grace of a hammer blow. Leo didn't bother with standard departure protocols. He pointed the ship at empty space and fired the main drives at full burn. The acceleration pressed Bella back into her seat, 3GS, enough to incapacitate most species, merely uncomfortable for Deathworlders. Behind them, the Zalthar cruiser tried to follow, but their crew couldn't handle the pursuit speed. Their bodies, evolved for grace and efficiency in low gravity, failed them when confronted with the brutal physics of high-thrust maneuvering. Within minutes, they were beyond weapons range. Bella finally let herself breathe fully. She looked at her hand, still stained with the warlord's blood. "They were expecting prey," she said quietly. Leo nodded, not taking his eyes off the navigation display. "Everyone does. They see our size, our lack of natural weapons, our thin skin. They don't understand what Earth makes." "What's that?" "Survivors," he glanced at her, his expression hard. "They laughed at you, big mistake." Bella smiled, small and cold. "The biggest." The data chip in her pocket contained coordinates to 17 more Zalthar hunting ships, each carrying captured specimens from across the galaxy. By morning, the Terran rescue fleet would have those coordinates. By morning, the Zalthar would learn what it meant to hunt humanity. The predators had laughed. The prey had teeth. And Earth never forgot its children.